Hey guys, kinggath here with some mod news. Man, it feels good to say that. It's been so long since I've been on my regular video schedule, and I'm going to continue to be off my normal schedule for a little while. For a while, my schedule was 4 videos a week. I would love to get back to that because I loved making all of those videos, but because there's just so much to do right after a major mod release that it takes up an exorbitant amount of my time between patching, making tutorials, making videos to give to some of our voice actors, making videos to teach you guys how to play the mod. I got to do all that, and it takes a lot of time. So until that's all caught up, it's going to be a while before I get on a regular rhythm again with my videos. But I am going to bring back the mod news videos because I want to keep you guys informed on all the stuff that's happening on the team with the project and with the add-ons that come out of the community. So before I get into all that, one of the things that I need to do is shout out some of the many patrons that have joined. Now, we have had over 100 patrons join in the last 2 months, which is just nuts, and I owe all of them a lot of thanks because thanks to them, we're able to do cooler and cooler stuff with Sim Settlements 2. We're starting to get this thing to where it's starting to feel like an actual game that's pretty high quality. I was on the verge of saying AAA quality there, but I think Fallout 4 has always been a little bit below that level. Just it's always felt a little bit dated. So we're on like 2015 AAA level, or maybe 2013. We'll give it that 2013 AAA level, which is pretty fun for a side passion project that a bunch of us are doing it for free. So let's give a shout out to some patrons. I'm not going to do all 100 and plus of you guys right in one shot. I'll catch up the shout outs over the next handful of videos. So I'm going to just do a few dozen of you for now. So shout outs to Rob, RW Painter, Condottiero, oh, I'm sorry, I butchered that one, Joshua D. Anderson, Maizdo, Waffly Nim. You know, I'm starting to recognize some of these names. I think some of you guys are resubs, which is awesome. Thank you for coming back to help us. Zach Oliver, Michael Brown, Schmitty85, Matt Melville, Chase Sutherland, Guardian MF, John Cowalls, Nick Hetchel, Jason Banta, William Galbraith. I think there's an L in there. It's hard to see from this far away on my monitor. James L, Dustin Stinnett, Brandonator, and Ace Shot 117. Thank you all, and thank you those I have not shouted out yet. You guys are up on deck, and we'll get to you soon. Thank you so much all for supporting the project. And if those of you out there are interested in supporting me on Patreon, all of the funds you guys send in, I push right back into the mod. I pay for assets, I pay for our servers so we can have nice things. We are constantly just looking for ways to use those funds to just make bigger and cooler things. So if you want to support the project, help us out there. All right, let's move on to talks about patching. So as you guys saw right after release, I did a flurry of hotfixing, and that has largely come to an end. We're now back onto a normal patch cycle, so bi-weekly is what I like to do. And for those of you guys who don't want to wait, you don't want to wait for bi-weekly patches. Speaking of, the first of those bi-weekly patches is scheduled for this Friday, so just a couple of days away. For those of you guys who don't want to wait, one of the things we learned during the hotfix cycle is this mod is too damn big for me to push out patches without getting them widely tested. So we started a public beta system. So we do have internal beta testers. A lot of folks joined up the beta team in the last couple of weeks. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for helping us out there. And they are kind of doing the deep dive stuff, but it's nice to push out these patches publicly so a little bit wider group of people can take a look at them and see if some of the issues that we claim are fixed are actually fixed. So this gives an opportunity for people who are having specific issues to go test our patches, make sure they're actually fixing those and not making things worse, because that was hotfix E, I believe it was, made things worse for a lot of people, and we just didn't want a repeat of that. So now all patches that aren't content related, things that are just bug fixes and stuff, all that stuff's going to go live on our forums. There's a latest news section where I'll be pushing out lettered patches before we release them. We will still do hot fixes for emergency issues where, you know, we're having major gameplay mechanics break or causing crashes, anything like that will get hot fixed still, but the goal generally is going to be to move away from hot fixes and move toward just a regular patch cycle. It makes sure that things are heavily tested and we're not just, again, making things worse for you guys. So watch for the first of those patches to come out on Friday, and if you don't want to wait, you can download a beta of the current build that I have on the forums right now. All right, let's move on to add-on packs. So there are a ton of add-on packs already. Many of them came out on launch day, and that is because I engaged with a lot of the active Sim Settlements community of people who either work on the mod directly or who are very, very active in the community and made sure that they had the tools and resources they needed to start converting their add-on packs before we even released SS2. So a lot of them released on launch day. Some more have happened since then. So I'm going to go ahead and list off all of the ones that are released right now. I'm going to link those down below so that those of you who are looking to download those and haven't found them will have a quick place to grab those. And so we've got Wasteland Venturers. This is by Tunuvio and Mermaracne. We've got Ruined Homes and Gardens by Ruined World. We've got Pra's Random Add-on by Pra. We've got SS2 Superstructures by, well, he goes by a number of names. He goes by XV on our server, VFX, FFT Fan, all sorts of names. But he had several add-ons for some settlements, and now they're, I don't know if they're all combined or if this is a new take on things and none of his old content. But either way, SS2 Superstructures is available now. We've got Walled Gardens and More by Whisper. We have got Junktown 2 by Uit, which this one I know is actually a combination of the old Junktown and Flotsam and Jetsam. So a boatload of building plans in this guy. And those are the add-on packs that I'm aware of right now. If I missed any, definitely ping me add-on pack authors. I want to make sure I'm featuring all of these as they come out. And then we've got a handful of non-add-on packs, but are just kind of little patches or add-ons for Sim Settlements 2 that I wanted to bring up. So the first one is a compatibility patch, and this is one I want to discuss because I need to let you guys know about one of my philosophies with modding and why we have this issue in the first place, and that is the XDI compatibility patch. So there are, as far as I know right now, there are 3 quests right now that break with XDI. Now, people have suggested ways I could fix them and to make sure they're compatible with XDI, and I wanted to talk about why I haven't, and I also want to talk about, in general, how I feel about compatibility patches. So, in general, if SS2 is horribly breaking somebody else's mod, I'm going to try and fix that. I'm going to try and patch that in or come up with a compatibility patch for it myself, because I don't want to be responsible for breaking other people's mods. That's just not fair to those guys. But when another mod causes ours to break, it's really hard for me to find the time to develop a patch for that, because then I'm taking my limited time and focusing it on a small subset of users who happen to be using that mod, as opposed to if I can work on fixing issues or improving things in SS2 itself, then I am doing something that helps all of you and not just this subset of users. So it's kind of a weird thing. It feels like they should be in the same category, whether it's, you know, our mod breaking from compatibility or breaking other people's mods, but it's just a matter of where I can focus my time. And so, like, when I'm breaking other people's mods, I want to fix it ASAP, because that's me. I feel guilty. I feel bad for ruining other mod authors' experiences, other creators who are putting in a lot of effort. But I'm leaning on the community to create compatibility patches for other mods to fix problems with ours. So that is just my approach to it. Again, I hope you guys understand. I will give my personal support to people who are making those patches. They're welcome to release those. For example, the XDI compatibility patch by Miss Alaba, I'm actually in talks with her to help with some of that and trying to give advice. I can't get into the dirty of trying to fix it myself, but I can at least explain how certain things work in conversation. And so I'm happy to do that for others who are working on compatibility patches. Just send me a message through the Sim Settlements forums or through Nexus, and I will try my best to answer your questions as quickly as possible to help you get those patches out. So with XDI in particular, one of the reasons I haven't made the changes innately is because of the way the dialogue systems doing what this patch does actually slows down the response time, and I have just avoided it because I don't want people who are not using XDI then to have this slightly worse experience. So I'm trying to make sure that any changes I'm making are not going to impact people who are not using the mods in question. The other thing with XDI is that some of the stuff it does to the scene system fundamentally changes the way scenes are handled. So there's some stuff that I can do in the creation kit natively, but as soon as you bring in a mod like XDI, suddenly some of that stuff breaks. And you can see this in the quest Who Can ASAM in our main quest line. Something I'm doing in there is not possible with XDI. And so Miss Alaba is working on trying to come up with a solution, but, you know, doing scene work is not her expertise, so it's kind of a problem. So this is why XDI in particular is not highly recommended with SS2. You'd be better off using something like Full Dialogue Interface if that's what you're going for. But if you really want to use XDI and you want to play through the SS2 questline, you can try this XDI compatibility patch, or you could try disabling XDI during those quests. You'll know them. They're the moments when a dialogue option pops up and it's all blank. That is the moment you should save the game, disable XDI, come back in and try it, or install this XDI compatibility patch. All right, and then lastly, we're going to end on a funny mod. I actually think this is hysterical, and I will likely use it in my Let's Play of SS2. And that is the ASAM Mall by Captain Coots. I'm sure many of you, even if you haven't played SS2 yet, have seen the ASAM sensor that we have, the new fancy model. We've used it in our trailers. And he took the one that stands on a podium and turned it into effectively a big club. And that's hilarious. I know he's working on enhancing it with some funny stuff. And so love stuff like this, just random goofball mods, especially when they're tying into the lore of the stuff we're working on. So check out ASAM Mall by Captain Coots. All right, so I will try and give you guys these updates about new add-on packs as they come out in these news videos. So keep an eye out for more and more add-on content. I know there's a ton of people who have released previous add-ons who are already working on it, and I've had a lot of requests from people on how they can get started on SS2 add-ons who never did SS1 add-ons. And like I said, well, actually, maybe I didn't say this is the second time I've recorded this video. The Builder's Toolkit is in development right now. I will be releasing that very soon. I'm hoping in the next week or two. And the Builder's Toolkit for SS2 is going to be a little bit different than the SS1 one in that I'm going to be also hosting an online version of it that is kept up to date more in real time, where I can fix stupid grammar issues or mistakes that I've made more quickly, whereas before I had to regenerate all these PDFs and it would take a long time. So that'll be a nice improvement. But in general, with the Builder's Toolkit, you guys are going to find there's way more opportunities to mod SS2 than there was with SS1. So there's a lot of opportunities for people who are artistic, whether it's you're into 3D modeling, into making your own 2D textures, or if you're creative in other ways like writing or music, there are hooks for you guys to add cool stuff into SS2. And then I've also added in some hooks for things for people who maybe don't have necessarily creative skills like that, but are interested in creating alternate experiences in the mod, maybe have some ideas for gameplay mechanic changes. There are hooks for that as well. So I am going to release that information as soon as we've got it, and likely we'll do multiple phase releases of the Builder's Toolkit because there's just so much stuff that you can tweak and tinker. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of add-ons come out for SS2. It's one of my favorite parts of the Sim Settlements community is all the stuff you guys build for the mod, and now it's opened up to even more people. So even if you're not much into designing buildings, I promise you there's something you can alter in SS2 and release as your own mod. It's all designed to do that, and I'll continue to look for more ways to add stuff in the future. So keep an eye out for that. We'd love to see more and more add-on packs, even if they're off-the-wall stuff like turning our sensor into a damn weapon. All right, last and certainly not least is Help Wanted. We are trying to make this mod bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. We're trying to make this feel like it's as worthy of your time as any video game out there. And to continue to do all of the things we plan, we need more help. Our team is relatively small. We don't get into those 100-man teams, although I will say that Sim Settlements has to have had over 100 people working on Sim Settlements 2 at this point, just not all on our core team. But we would like to expand our core team. We're trying to do some bigger things. There are some holes in our roster right now, and I'm hoping that some of you guys are so inspired you would like to come and join us. So I'm going to list off some of the Help Wanted posts we have and talk briefly about what each would entail. But if you want the full details, or if you want to see posts I didn't talk about, head to our forums. If you go to simsettlements2.com, click on forum in the upper right-hand corner, one of the first things you'll see is a Help Wanted link, and that is where I put details on the posts about the positions and what you have to do to apply for those. So right now we're looking for some help in a few different departments. So first up is writing. Not only are we looking for writers, so we do want some people to help us do things like character dialogue and creating new characters and things like that, but we also need help in the editing department. So we have a ton of writing in this mod. I think we clocked in something like 15,000 lines of dialogue for the initial release, and we have multiple chapters planned to release after that, plus lots of side character content. So we need some editing help. We had an editor at one point in the project, and real life took him away from us, and so we've been kind of free-flying without it. I'm sure many of you have noticed grammar mistakes and whatnot. In fact, one user reached out to me with a patch with a bunch of grammar mistakes. Yes, to you, I apologize. I just got the email. I don't remember your name, but I will be integrating with that. Thank you so much for doing that. So watch for that in one of the early patches of a fix of a lot of the grammar mistakes we've made. And we are looking for an editor to help us prevent that in the future. And not just grammar and spelling mistakes, but also bigger issues. Things like helping us manage lore, make sure we're not retconning Fallout lore or retconning our own lore, or repeating too many characters. One of the problems we had early on was we had so many writers involved, it was getting hard to keep track of who was writing characters of what tone. We don't want to have too many characters that all feel the same, and having an editor who's kind of watching from the sky on our writing stuff would help immensely with that. So writing help and editing help, we need both of. We also are looking for a 3D artist, and this would be 3D modeling more than 3D animating, although 3D animation help would always be a plus. You would need to have experience with 3D Studio Max and access to 3D Studio Max 2013 or 2014. I know that those are currently impossible to buy, so you basically have had to have had a license or have licenses in unconventional ways that we won't discuss right now. So 3D artist, that is somebody else we're looking for, preferably with experience getting stuff into Fallout 4, but if not, we can teach that. We have a lot of tutorials available on how to do those things, so the most important part is understanding how to just make 3D models and possibly the textures for them, and then we can show you how to do the workflows of getting stuff into Fallout 4, but you do have to be willing to learn and do that sort of thing. So if you're hoping to just dump models on us and walk away, most of these positions, I will say, we're looking for core team members. So if we're looking for people who are willing to learn, who are willing to be a little bit self-motivated, put in that extra effort to keep our quality level top notch. So if you're just looking for something passively to engage in, need not apply to any of these positions. We need people who are going to be pretty actively engaged with the project. We're also looking for an audio engineer, somebody to help us with cleaning up sound files, cutting them. We have, like I mentioned, we had over 15,000 audio files. It's a lot of work. We currently have 2 people on the team who do all of that, and they barely got everything done in time for our release, and they could use some help. So audio engineer, would love some help there. All right, and then in addition to audio engineer, we're also looking for a Foley artist, so somebody who can help us design and acquire sound effects that we can add into the mod to further enhance things. In particular, we're looking for somebody with experience doing sound effects for video games. We've already got somebody who's quite versed in sound effects for theater and film, and they're doing great work. But there are certain parts of sound design that only occur in video games, and so somebody with that experience would definitely help us to enhance our production even further. So if any of those positions are interesting to you and you can help us out there, or if you're just looking for other ways you can help out with the mod, again, head to our forums, check the Help Wanted section. We've got a variety of posts there about things we're looking to expand on, and from there, each of those posts will tell you where you can contact me and what you can do to get involved with the project. I apologize, my dog in the background howling away, and that's just gonna stay in the video because I'm running out of time to do these recordings. All right, guys, take care and enjoy the mods.